the 13th ranked team in the Big Ten, according to you guys, the Jimmies and the Joes. That's the Maryland Terrapins. Mike Loxley's crew in College Park. Are we going to Bentley's SVP? I don't know. We'll see. Listen, the Terrapins continue to be a little bit of a personal disappointment to me. I talk myself into them every year. I think the last 2 years I've been very bullish on them, very outspoken. Loxley is recruited like a champion. He has talked the talk like a champion. And then they went 4-8 last year, and they went 1-8 in conference play, and they just could not find a way to win football games. The turnovers continue to be an issue. The offense was sluggish at best. They scored 10 against Northwestern, 13 against Iowa, 17 against Rutgers. We just could not find points. Defense wasn't any better. They finished 105th in scoring prevention. And while Maryland had a number of draft picks, to me, it's all just kind of been for show. Like, yes, it's a compilation of talented players. We've seen some of that in College Station over the last couple of years, but it does not result in accumulated victories over the course of the season. So we start with the offense here for the Terps. What's the path forward? Loxley continues to recruit athletes, and he has definitely stocked the roster in that department. Nolan Ray will take over at running back. 374 yards last year, showed some fantastic bursts of talent and speed. Roman Hemby's off to Indiana. We'll talk about the Hoosiers in just a little bit. So Ray's going to get his chances. I like the wide receiver core. They bring in Jaleel Farouk from Oklahoma, Kalen Webb from Tennessee. They've got Dorian Fleming coming in from Georgia State, a versatile tight end. So I think they're going to have weapons. The question that I have, without a doubt, the biggest question of this Maryland team, can a true freshman take over from day one? Loxley closed on a blue-chip, highly coveted quarterback in Malik Washington, beating out teams like Syracuse and Penn State. Syracuse just landed a 5-star wide receiver, so you know Fran Brown can recruit. It was a heck of a job by Mike Loxley. But now it's a question of whether or not he's ready to ascend to the throne to start the season opener. He's got to beat out Justin Martin, a UCLA transfer, and then returning backup Christian Martin. But quarterback is not necessarily a deep position at Maryland. And so you can start to see the chance where, hey, a 6'4" true freshman quarterback with a rocket arm, maybe Loxley's starting to feel the heat up in College Park. Maybe we just roll the dice and see if we can catch lightning in a bottle. The defense has got to find a strength this season. Last year, they were just kind of slightly above average against the run. They were not very good consistently at really anything else. They brought in Ted Monachino to be co-defensive coordinators to try and give that unit a little bit of a boost. And then they really took a hit. They've got a talented secondary, but they took a hit in the spring when they lost linebacker Caleb Wheaton and Kellen Wyatt to the portal. Wheaton went to Auburn, Wyatt went to Indiana. So the defense, very much a work in progress, I think, as we head into 2025. The schedule, guys, is actually kind of good news. I mean, if there's ever a year that Loxley's going to put it together, it might be this season. No Penn State, no Oregon, no Iowa. They start the year against a pair of intriguing G5 teams. They get Florida Atlantic, who I think is going to be all gas, no brakes with Zach Kitley. And then NIU, that's having to replace their quarterback and a lot of their key pieces, but a very talented team, obviously, out of the MAC. So all of that's before opening Big Ten play against Wisconsin. You talk about a game where two teams are in desperate need of some good vibes early in the season, something to hang their hat on. Maryland, Wisconsin might be that game, and I believe they go to Camp Randall. So Wisconsin gets that one at home. The Terps do play Washington, Nebraska, Indiana, and Michigan, all at home, all within the friendly confines of College Park. So when you're looking at a team that's ranked this low by the Jimmies and the Joes, to me, this is the first team that I look at their schedule and go, okay, this is one that could severely overperform their ranking if everything starts to hit on all cylinders.
They're going to have to ramp up. Like, it's going to have to be catch fire in a bottle early. You talked about a Florida Atlantic, Northern Illinois, Towson. Like, they're going to have to stack some wins and not just win, but like look good doing it and find their rhythm. Otherwise, the quarterback position has me pretty nervous, right? We talked about UCLA not being a very good passing team. Justin Martin's not necessarily a guy that I'm like, hey, he's going to come in and fix the whole thing. I also look at this as saying, if you're putting your trust in a freshman, he's got to be really dang good. It's worked for coaches before. It worked with DJ Lagway last year. It kind of saved Florida.
It's worked for Mike Locksley before when
it
he was
has.
at Alabama. He had Jalen Hurts and Tua as
And so
starting freshman quarterbacks.
It's not a complete death sentence here, but obviously the supporting cast is going to have to step up for him and be reliable for him to be able to succeed there. If he's the starter from day one, if it was just up to me, and I know that I'm probably coaching for my job, I'm almost assuredly going to be saying start the kid and just let him get used to it, because he's got to be the guy to run, right? He's got to be the guy that you let find his feet and give you the best chance to maybe pull an upset and find you any sort of job security. I don't hate Locksley by any means. I think he's a good coach, but man, he's got to turn something around. We had talked a couple off seasons ago about how Maryland, they just can't get over the fact that their division, they got to get over the top of Penn State and Ohio State and Michigan. I'm like, yeah, you play one of those teams this year. You got out of the divisions format. You have a runway here. You got to start winning some games. You got to start turning it around. 4-8 ain't going to cut it. They're going to have to find a way to win some more games this year. And you said it, Mitch, it's a better schedule. They can win some games this year, but this is the time when it's time to, get off the pot, so to speak. He's got to start winning some games.
I think
they're going to start Malik Washington. I don't think they're going to. I don't think they're going to waste time with anybody else. I think Garrett hit the nail on the head there. Feels really similar to the Florida situation last year. Coach feeling some heat, needs to just show that he has a future, and Malik Washington is that future. I think this could be a really fun half team. I think that might be the ceiling for Maryland this year. I don't see them contending for a conference title by any stretch of the imagination, but they could be a really fun half team that puts the fear of God into you on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know how they're going to stop people. Mm-hmm. You mentioned they got some interesting pieces, but they're replacing so much production. And I just don't really know I just don't really know what the identity is going to be on the defensive side of the ball. It certainly hasn't been aggressiveness. It hasn't been pass rush, right? They only had 14 sacks all year last year, and just 2 of those come back. So I just don't know what the identity is on the defensive side of the ball to really start picking them. You mentioned the schedule is really easy, but I don't know that I wouldn't pick them against Washington at home, Nebraska at home, Indiana at home right now until we see what they have on the field. So it could be a really fun half team. Don't know how they stop people, but I am really intrigued by the offense to see if they can just outscore a few teams that aren't quite ready.
Well, and that's going to have to be the recipe for success, right? I don't see the improvement on the defensive side from what they brought in this offseason that will plug those holes and suddenly make Maryland a complete team. The line is 4.5 wins for a reason, right? I mean, it's Vegas telling you that they don't believe that they've got enough on the Jimmies and the Joes side of things to take advantage of what I think you objectively have to say is a favorable Big Ten schedule. If they can get on a roll, and if Mike Locksley can start to pay off some of those recruiting wins. Right now, to me, he looks like a great general manager, a heck of a talent evaluator. But boy, when it comes to putting it all together, I'd love to know what Maryland fans actually think of Mike Locksley. And I had reached out to a couple hoping to get a take before this podcast, and just haven't heard back quite yet from any of those resources. But I'd love to know what the temperature of the Terp fan base is on Mike Locksley. Do you believe in him going forward? You know he can recruit. He's got, I believe, the top edge rusher in the 2026 class is committed to Maryland right now, and has said he's shut down his recruitment. He said he's going to be a Terp. So you know he can bring talent into College Park. What kind of evaluation and evolution happens then once those guys get to campus is another question entirely. So I think Maryland's going to be a fun team. I think they're going to be very entertaining. But as far as results go, certainly have to wait and see.